A kind day to you all, I am Kinsmarck, and this is actually a small assortment of combat armor themed mod spotlights for Fallout 4 that I consider crucial to the aesthetics I like for my game. All of them are simple enough that I couldn't justify giving individual showcases to them, said the guy that spotlit one item texture replacers, I know, so I figured I'd shake up the usual format and cover several at a time. First up, Combat Leg Armor Variation from Brokefoot. A cut-and-dry model swap of the combat armor leg pieces such that the standard tier is composed of shin and knee plates instead of thigh plates, sourcing the model from the lower leg armor of the sturdy tier combat armor, which remains composed of shin and thigh plates as normal. I like this for a couple of reasons, chiefly because it's less likely to clip into clothing, especially any kind of coat, and also because it moves the combat armor set more mechanically into line with the rest of the game's armor, like the leather and metal that start giving forearm and shin protection in their standard forms, and then add thigh and shoulder protection at the sturdy and heavy levels. Consistency. I like it. Hence, I use this mod. Next up, Combat Arm Variation from Frederick. Can you guess? Of course you can, because it's obvious. This mod changes the standard combat arm pieces such that they're composed of forearm and elbow plates instead of a pauldron, sourced from the same model as the sturdy combat armor pauldron, which combines them as normal. Amusingly enough, this mod was apparently inspired from the former and meant to complement it, and I can certainly agree that it does. Once again, I like the consistency, I prefer the look, so I like this mod. Moving on. Combat Armor No Star Decal from Millicetious. Considerably self-explanatory, this one's a personal taste thing. One could say that it's at least a little more consistent with the combat armors of previous games, which also lacked a center star. I'll admit though, as changed as this game's combat armor is from those already, that's sort of a stretch as far as trying to call this any more lore-friendly than the standard is. I just didn't like having a giant star decal staring me in the face from the center of my character's chest, so I like to get rid of it. I actually use an older mod to accomplish this that for some reason I can't seem to find on the Nexus anymore. I guess it was removed at some point. So I confess I haven't actually tested this one. As far as I can tell though from screenshots and comments, this one functions just as well considering it literally consists of a single replacement file for the combat armor chest decal texture. And lastly, I also use the black polymer combat armor with brown leather from Combat Armor Recolors from creator Akalor. Once again, fairly self-explanatory. It just changes the color of the polymer tier combat armors to a much darker palette that I consider far preferable, at least for me, to that garish, glowing white from the vanilla game. Come on, guys, this ain't Anchorage. Keep in mind here that this is just one of 26 different color options available from this mod, and I can't possibly spotlight them all, so check out the mod proper if you're interested in some alternative color variations. One thing to keep in mind if you do, though, I came across a frustrating issue to do with combat armor as I tried to customize the individual textures of material mods for mine. One for standard, one for shadowed, that kind of thing. Only to find that unlike, say, metal armor, all forms of combat armor use the same palette file to draw their color from, making independent customization of material mod textures pretty much impossible, short of just straight up combining multiple texture files in an art program oneself, and at that rate you might as well just make your own damn texture mod. I have heard of another mod that I haven't used called Custom Combat and Synth Armor that apparently allows one to pretty much do that in-game at a workbench, though I can't necessarily vouch for it, as I haven't tested it for myself yet. I just figured I'd point it out for those that want a little more in the way of potential options than my setup here can provide, because I'm happy with it, so I'm not about to shake it up just for a spotlight. Apologies. So, that covers all of the mods I use to customize the combat armors of my game. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Links, as always, to each of these mods are included in the description of this episode, as is one to our Patreon page, so consider checking that out if you've enjoyed this video to help us keep the show alive. Thank you all kindly for watching. I am Kinsmarck here at Last on the Press, and as always, I wish you all good gaming and Godspeed.